Hi there. I wanted to make just a community-free spreadsheet. I enjoy the nerd part of the game. I actually probably enjoy it more than playing. Um, I made a little spreadsheet just for tanks to know how do you build? Do you stack vitality, mitigations? Where is the intersection? Like where do I know I'm stacking too much of one and not the other? How do I actually build? Say I have like 6 or 7 essence slots. How do I kind of find, how do I stack? How do I build this thing? Yeah, I've said that like 50 times. So first of all, to save this, you'll just get a view copy. So just go File, make a copy, and then save it to your thing, and you can call it whatever. I'd suggest saving two, make a physical and a tactical mitigation checker, because you're going to swap virtues, you're going to swap some gear, you might have a couple of swapper pieces. So I'd suggest make the two extremes so you can see in a physical fight, this is my stats, in a tactical fight, this is my stats. If you're a poor captain, or tank, should I say, and you just want to have one build, you don't want swapper pieces, you don't want to complicate the issue, you can use one sheet and then you can kind of try balance both in one sheet. It's a little bit tougher, but doable. Okay, let's go to the sheet. J3, you pick your class. Captain, Guardian, Bjornin. I didn't include Champ. I'm sorry. And then obviously Captain with a Guardian for the fortifications. Guardian with the Cappy Herald for the 3% mids. Okay, so we pick. Then your rating value. This should be when you log in. No scrolls, no hope token, nothing. You put in your rating, your physical rating mitigation, your tactical mitigation rating. If you're going to use the scroll, i.e. the one from the store for the 20 whatever K or whatever it is, you can include it here, because I don't take into account that. And also I don't take into account that 0.5% mitigation from whatever, but you can add that in. You can add it here on the side to your Cappy Heralds and stuff. Yeah, these physical and tactical straight gains. These are basically straight gains. Guardians, you can add it in, whatever. Now we're assuming from row 6 down, we're assuming all the buffs that we're adding to ourselves. So we have to assume a minstrel healer because they just give the most. But if you don't, just delete the information, okay? So take out composure, take out Tale of Respite, okay? And then obviously, as you see, if you swap your class, you'll see row 10 changes to your class gain. And if you're a captain and you don't have the full defensive strike armor buff on the legacy, just change that value down. Just make it the 27 or whatever. It's fine. This is basically assumed you have max allies. So we can see from row 6, the total of all these buffs is 104k physical and 134k tactical. Okay. So now we can see under row 4, this is our mitigation per T1. So this specific captain who gave me this information is 55% phys cap and 58 tac cap. And we can see what he is at tier 2. And this is for in case you're one of those guys that is trying to do, T2 6-mans and stuff. And you just kind of like, in that mid-range. And then over here we obviously have T3. So as far as I understand from the wiki, T3, 4, and 5 are shared. So basically this is from T3 and down. You can see what your mitigations are. Now I've added obviously your straight gains, which is your 3%. In this case, because it's a captain, 3% from your herald and 3% from SOS, because we're assuming a minstrel healer. Remember, if it's not a minstrel healer, you can just go here and take away the 3%. It's fine. And you can add in the 0.5 if you're using the scrolls, if you don't want to add it over here on the side. Okay, so in row 20, we can see our damage intake that this specific mitigation build allows us to take in. So also for captain, you can kind of see, okay, if I'm using 2 arms and I've got the damage reduction, or if I'm using the defensive strike buff, how much damage am I actually mitigating? The 5, the 10, whatever. This morale pool is obviously no hope token, but you can obviously include your food morale. So you can eat food to obviously check your morale, but I don't want any percentage gains here. No hope token, no 5% max morale scrolls, nothing like that, okay? Now from that we get row 24, and this is where it's quite important. My mates and I call this the hits to die ratio. I'm not sure what other raid groups might call it, but this is how much damage can you take before you die. So this specific captain can take basically 1,020,000 before he dies on physical damage, and 1.3 before he dies on tactical damage, okay? And over here in rows 26 and 27, I've entered the current vitality and mitigation essences. This is tier 3 Moonlit, but if you're working on your sheet and you don't want to get a fresh copy, because I'll update the fresh copies, you can just increase it there. Those values will be pulled into the rest of the formula, so they'll automatically update. So if like a T4 comes out and it's like, I don't know, 1.8k vitality on the essence, you just update it here to 1.8 and everything else will update. Then you can see how much extra morale you get from one vitality essence, and obviously that updates whether you're a guardian or Bjornin, and obviously Bjornin is in bear form, so just so you know that. Now basically from row 30 down is the information we want. That's basically whether we stack one vitality or one mitigation essence, which is more beneficial. What's going to make me survive more damage? Okay, because that's all you want to really do as a tank. You want to survive more damage. So if I stack one vitality essence with this guy's current build, I can survive 22.6k more damage on physical. If it's tactical, I can survive 29.1k more tactical damage. If I stack a mitigation essence, these are side by side, so don't get confused. It's either or. It's either physical or tactical, okay? So if you want to also take into account sunk costs, you know, you can take into account sunk costs, but I haven't. So basically, if I stack one more physical mitigation essence, I go from my 46.71 in B17, I will go to in B34, 47.82. So it's about 1.1% more survivable. More mitigations. Okay, more mitigations, not more survivable. Plus the 6%, remember that's your Cappy Herald plus SOS, and that's my neutral mitigations. So let's go down to row 39. If I stack a Fizzmit essence, I can take 24.4k more damage before dying, i.e. it's almost 8%. There we go, row 41. It's almost 8% more beneficial for me to stack a Fizzmit essence than it is vitality if I'm going into a Fizzmit fight. Alternatively, in column E, it is 3.4% less survivability if I slot a Tacmit essence as I do to a vitality essence. Okay, because you get more survivability on the specific captain with these setups than if I slot vitality. If I have like 3 or 4 essence slots, you can go here to your morale pool and you can say to yourself, okay, I am going to add 2 of these essences. Okay, I'm going to add 2 vitality essences. Let's look how it changes the formulas. And then you look, and then all of a sudden you kind of hit in this medium where you're not even like, it's now less than 1% more efficient to slot the mitigation now, okay? So you can kind of crawl along that line. The idea being, you want to be as close to 0% as possible in row 41. Because that means that you're being as efficient as possible. It's the most survivability. So now, it's kind of like slot a mitigation, slot maybe a vitality, and you'll almost crawl along that line as our gear gets better, and as our stats change, and as new essences come out. You will almost crawl along the most efficiency in a line. Alternatively, if this is your balance line, so say you don't have a physical and a tactical build, you only have one tank build. Now all of a sudden Fizzmits is whack. Like Fizzmits is out, it's about 12.7% more efficient now to start slot in Fizzmit than it is vitality. You get the idea. And also you have to take into account in B22 your morale pool. Massive morale pools on a captain are awesome, but at the same time they put a lot of unnecessary stress on your healer. So also in the back of your mind, take that into account. You don't want to have a massive morale pool that's impossible to heal, even though for captains they are technically almost the meat shield. From row 44 down, I've basically put the T3 caps. This is straight out the wiki, so you can go look and double check it. And then the aim of the rating. The rating aim is basically minus the buffs that we're getting in row 6. So it's basically minus that, and it tells you what you should aim for to kind of cap yourself basically in terms of your mitigations. So the most important one is, and very achievable, is 550k Tacmits, and you're basically Tacmit capped. And basically, because all the 6-mans are tactical fights at the moment, it's very possible. And then obviously row 46 just tells you what your shortfall is. So what your current rating is as opposed to how to cap it. And as you can see, the specific captain's about 64k off of TechMid cap, which isn't too far off, you know. If you wanted to buy one of those TechMid scrolls out the store and maybe a couple of the essences, you would be there. And that's basically it. As you can see as well, if I switch this to Guardian, which would be out of whack. I mean, a Guardian with that much morale in these mids is just terrible. So as you can see with the Guardian, all of a sudden these are out of whack. Guardians just gain so much from mitigations. They can get up to 75% Fizzmit and 73% TechMid cap, where captains can only get up to 66 on both. So for Guardians, it's going to be much, much, much more efficient to actually unslot Vitality in this case and just slot straight up mitigations. In fact, you know, I think that's where a lot of Guardians are making the mistake, is they're just going hungry in morale pool, but they actually don't have the mitigations where they get their most survivability out of mitigations. Where as captains are tend to be more meat shield, so they kind of do overstack morale. But I really hope this guide helps. This is basically just a way for you to kind of get the idea of how to build your class, how to basically most efficiently gear your tank class. Thank you.